So I'm sitting there,
binging whatever the latest trendy dribble that Netflix has shoved in my face, half paying attention while I doom scroll to my death, satisfying my 5-second Gen Z attention span while I suddenly feel a wave of hunger come over me. After a brief stroll to my local supermarket in a beeline directly for the snacks aisle, I grab my favourite brand of artery-blocking, high blood pressure-inducing potato snacks to find that either I've become a giant or the packaging is about a third of the size as it was 2 weeks ago. Through my anguish, I reluctantly pay the cashier and return to my hovel to wallow in pity. It turns out that this is just something known as shrinkflation. Someone far smarter than me might tell you that it means the practice where the size or quality of a product is reduced while the price remains the same or increases. Essentially, it is a way for companies to maintain or increase their profit margins without overtly raising prices. However, for an 8-brain layman like myself, it basically means more money, less stuff. Now, I'm not here to talk about economics or how we got into this mess. I just wanted to show you some examples of shrinkflation and a way that you can avoid getting sucked into this trap of corporate greed. The Freddo Index is a completely legitimate and respected tool for measuring the rate of inflation and tracking the cost of living increase in the UK. For anyone that doesn't know, a Freddo is this little froggy green guy who essentially is the figurehead of the people and the leader of the revolution against the rising costs of chocolate and consumer goods. The Freddo Index gives us an idea of how inflation is collectively screwing us as a country and gives a visual representation of how a Freddo used to cost whatever the change down the back of your sofa was, to more or less costing equal to a deposit on a 4-bed house in central London. Hyperbole aside, the price of Freddos has increased dramatically over the past few years. When I was but an unhinged youth, one Freddo bar would cost around 10p, unless you were purchasing one on the school playground, where the shady black market price would probably set you back all of your lunch money. Perhaps this was foreshadowing the rise to come, as a Freddo will now set you back about 50p. Now, I know what you're thinking, this might not sound like a lot, but not only have they gotten pricier, they've also shrunk in size like Fred was spun in the dryer for a little bit too long. When life was good, back in 2007, a Freddo would weigh around 20 grams and this is now reduced to a measly 17 grams. It's not a huge change, but it's certainly noticeable when you hyperfixate on corporate greed like I do.
Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt.
Another product that is causing national outrage across the Great British Isles is the decrease in the size of Lurpak butter. And for all you non-Brits watching, Lurpak is a cultural staple of the UK and is essentially the bread and butter of what keeps our society running, no pun intended. According to trolley.co.uk, the high cholesterol building heart-stopping stick of golden glory has shrunk by 20%. Now, as you can imagine, people are quite upset. It's misleading and quite frankly just a little bit sneaky. But it's not only food products that are affected. Everything from alcohol to toilet paper or shampoo to bathroom cleaner is under the wrath of shrinkflation. So how can you, the average consumer, avoid shrinkflation and ensure that you aren't pulled into the trap of corporate greed? After doing some deep research, analysing data from multiple sources and compiling all theories on how shrinkflation can be monitored, I have devised a master plan that I call the completely unhinged guide on how to fight shrinkflation. One piece of advice I had read is to keep a spreadsheet tracking all of the items you purchased in your last shop, keeping track of the price and weight to indicate whether any funny business has gone on with your favourite products. But let's be honest, you really didn't think I was going to do something as intelligent and boring as that, did you? No. I think the only option we really have is to fight fire with fire, to show these greedy, selfish and pocket-lining companies that we mean business and they can't mess with the Great British Freddo. They can't mess with our penguin bars. They can't mess with our Lurpak spreadable butter. They can't mess with our plain McVitie's digestives that literally taste like drywall. They can't mess with our quality streak. And they definitely can't mess with our Pringles. They can't pull the wool over our eyes anymore. This isn't just a video on shrinkflation, but a call to arms for all you unhinged folk out there. It's time to start taking back what's rightfully ours. Wait a minute. I know how that sounded, but not like that. Not like that. Not like that! Honestly, unless you fancy meeting up with your local right-wing degenerates and using their senseless rioting as a guise to join in on their looting spree, I hate to say it, but shrinkflation seems to be pretty unavoidable. So to end this video on a light note, we're all just going to have to suck it up and move on. Thank you for sticking around this long till the end of the video. Sorry it took me so long to upload another one. I've moved cities, started a new job, my life was pretty mental, so I'm definitely going to try and upload more. Sorry this one was kind of short, it took absolutely forever to edit, and I actually started it like ages ago and just never got around to finishing it. But yeah, thank you for checking it out.